Hello every pony, it's Visual Pony again, and today I will read a story to you that I have written myself. On this I want to thank my very good friend Kantai, who has encouraged me to write this story in the first place, since if it hadn't been for her, this story would have never been written. I told her my idea, I thought it wasn't very good, but she told me that it was an interesting idea and that I should just write and publish it. And, well, so I did on Fanfiction. You can read it for yourself. I have the link in the description. And, well, I hope you enjoy it. Children of the Night, Chapter 1. The Great Escape. Several guards galloped through the night in the Everfree Forest, along with Princess Luna. One of them carried an injured Princess Celestia on his back, which slowed them down considerably. The uncomfortable atmosphere inside the forest was something that made the guards flinch on every ever so small noise. The predators of the forest avoided the group of heavily armored ponies that galloped through their territory, but it was not their armor or magic that frightened them off. It was what followed the group that made even the timber wolves flee. "How far until we reach safety, your highness?" Captain Shining Armor asked Princess Luna while maintaining his position in the defensive formation around her and Princess Celestia. "It is still a long way until we arrive at the place we have in mind. We must simply hold on and hope that—" But the Princess of the Night did not get to finish whatever she was saying. A bright green flash of magic cut through the darkness and headed straight at her. Shining Armor, devoted to both princesses, shoved Princess Luna aside to get her out of harm's way, partaking the spell himself. Luna felt metal on her flank before she was shoved aside and tumbled to the floor of the forest. The group around her came to a stop, and she just wanted to lash out at Shining Armor for causing her to fall when she saw the Unicorn Guard Captain laying on his side, breathing heavily. A great portion of his barding had been literally ripped off his body, and the right side of his body was spurting blood like a fountain. She saw now what must have happened. He had seen an incoming attack and was unable to cast a counterspell in time. So he did the only thing he could think of, throwing himself into harm's way. "Captain Shining Armor! Oh, by Celestia! We have to get him out of here! Guards, take—" But Luna was interrupted. Several bolts of green magic cut through the night, and the group had to duck to avoid them. One look at Shining Armor's face while she ducked showed her that he would not stand for being an additional burden on her guards. However, she could not just let him die here. He had done so much during the initial attack on Canterlot, and kept her safe up till now. He had been the only one of all her guards that had not mistrusted her after coming back from a 1,000-year exile on the moon. And now this. Shining Armor saw it in Princess Luna's eyes. She would not leave one of her subjects behind if she could help it. A glance at his folded friend, Goldshield, was all it took, and the white-coated Earth Pony mare grabbed hold of Princess Luna, together with 2 other guards, and dragged her away. "Thank you, Goldshield," Shining Armor muttered to himself and tried to get up. His injury was bad, and he knew it. At this rate, he wouldn't see another sunrise. So he decided to do what he could as a captain of the Royal Guard, Unicorn Division. He would buy the princesses time, as much as they needed. His determination was unbroken, as he stood unsteadily on his legs, casting a barrier spell that cut the side of the forest he was standing in off from the one the pursuers came closer every second. Holding a barrier of this size usually was no problem for Shining Armor, but with his injury, beads of sweat quickly formed on his brow, while the changelings once again tried to break his barrier. Goldshield was galloping alongside Quick Arrow and Cherry Pie, while the 3 of them kept Princess Luna restrained, who was struggling violently to free herself from their grasp. "Let us go! Captain Shining Armor is not dead yet. We can still help him!" she screamed. Cherry Pie looked downcast, having to disobey her princess's orders, and so did Quick Arrow. The 2 Pegasi had, like herself, served in the Royal Guard ever since they had left school, and they were used to obey the princess's every order. Behind them, 6 other guards kept a defensive formation around Pincushion, who was carrying Princess Celestia. They galloped for a while without any incident, and without Princess Luna ceasing her screaming, when Goldshield finally snapped. "Captain Shining Armor is giving his life to protect us. Please don't disgrace his sacrifice by endangering yourself in a futile attempt to save him." Luna was shocked at such boldness and cold-hearted calculation. Wasn't Shining Armor a comrade to this Earth Pony? But then she recognized the mare that held her left front hoof in her grab. It was Guard Captain Goldshield, foalhood friend of the left-behind Shining Armor. From the corner of her eyes, Luna could see tears trickling down her face as she continued to gallop deeper into the forest. Shining Armor was straining himself to keep the barrier up, but the ground beneath him was already slippery with his own blood, and he felt lightheaded and tired. How did this all happen? He and his wife, Princess Cadence, had been invited to Canterlot to attend the crowning of his younger sister, Twilight Sparkle, as the newest princess of Equestria. After the actual ceremony, Twilight had held a procession through the streets of Canterlot, and that was when it had all gone wrong. Many ponies in the crowd suddenly started to attack their fellow ponies. Screams of delight and joy had turned into screams of pain and horror. The royal guard tried to arrest the troublemakers, but very soon it had become clear to all of them that they were once again dealing with changelings. But these were different somehow. They actually killed some ponies and enchanted others to attack. Shining Armor had lost a few of his comrades to such attacks. The tide of battle was quickly turning against the defenders, since they not only had to deal with the invaders, but also with mind-controlled citizens of Canterlot. The moment he had sounded the retreat, however, was when Queen Chrysalis herself had entered the fray, and swept away a whole squad of guards as if they were flies. They could not have won this battle, and their last stand happened in the throne room of the royal palace. 20 guards from different divisions and the 2 royal pony sisters. No pony else had made it there. The fate of his wife and sister unknown, Shining Armor was ready to attack Queen Chrysalis in a fit of rage and desperation, but was held back by Goldshield. A moment later, Princess Luna had teleported all of them to the edge of Everfree Forest, but not before Chrysalis had inflicted a painful wound on her sister, Princess Celestia. No pony had been comfortable with the plan to hide in Everfree Forest, but Princess Luna had promised them a safe place within it, a place where the changelings could not hope to enter. The magic around his horn began to fade slowly, and his life spilled onto the forest floor. Shining Armor knew that this was most likely it, and he stood tall and proud as his magic failed. The barrier fell, and several changelings rushed towards him. Shining Armor did not close his eyes, however. He was proud to have fulfilled his duty to the end. His last thought before the first changeling reached him was his only regret in his life. "I'm sorry I couldn't protect you, Twilight." Luna galloped alongside the guards again, throwing concerned glances at her sister every now and then. The wounds that Chrysalis had inflicted on her neck seeped blood, and her usually pure white coat was already tinged a deep brown from dried blood. "Not much farther. We are almost there. We can make it. Just a little further, if we just can make it there," Luna thought, as panic slowly crept into her thoughts. It would only be a little while now until they reached her refuge, the place that not even her dear sister knew about. Her sister had believed that her turning into Nightmare Moon had been her only rebellion against her decisions. Soon Celestia would find out that her younger sibling had stopped listening to her every word long ago, and that it had been better that way, even so Luna doubted that Celestia would see it that way. Just as Luna thought they had lost their pursuers, several pairs of green eyes lit up in front of them, causing the group to tumble to a stop. 3 of the rear guards almost lost their balance at the sudden appearance of enemies in their close proximity. Goldshield could not believe it. They had come so far, and even though she did not know how far they had to go yet, she trusted in Princess Luna to know what she was doing. Had she not, she would never have agreed to enter Everfree Forest, especially not at night. "Defensive formation! Protect the princesses! Don't let any one of them get past you!" Goldshield shouted, and every pony obliged to her order. With Shining Armor gone, she was the commander of this unit after all. The thought of Shining Armor gave her a sting in her heart. "For your sake, Armor, I will keep the princesses safe, even if it is the last thing I do," she thought, and was ready to throw herself into the upcoming fight when she noticed a bright light coming from behind her. Instinctively she glanced over her shoulder, seeing Princess Luna standing right behind her, her horn aglow with magic and her eyes glowing like the moon itself. She had seen those eyes before. It usually happened when the Princess of the Night lost her temper, which happened less and less recently. But this time was different. Princess Luna did not emanate any hostility or rage. Instead, Goldshield felt as if she was called towards Princess Luna. It felt like an urgent thing to do, something that blotted out anything else on her mind. She felt that, no matter what might happen, she had to protect... Mother? Goldshield shook her head violently. Mother? Where did that come from? Princess Luna was in no way related to her, and even less her mother. The feeling receded as the princess's eyes returned to their normal bright green color, and she took an offensive stance. Her wings outstretched to make herself look bigger as she was, and her horn aglow with magic once again. Princess Luna made her way to stand next to Goldshield. "We have to hold out a little while. Help is on its way." "Help? But from—" Goldshield was interrupted, however, by a changeling jumping at her throat. Princess Luna turned around faster than any of the ponies present could have anticipated, and bucked at it. Her hoofs struck true, and the changeling was thrown back against a nearby tree. A sickening crunching noise was heard when it hit the tree, head first, and lay still on the forest floor. "What are you waiting for? Are you scared of one not even fully grown alicorn?" Princess Luna taunted their attackers as they backed away at the sight of their comrade being killed with just one hit of the princess's hoofs. As they slowly tried to withdraw into the shadows again, To await reinforcements, no doubt. More eyes lit up in the darkness behind them. These, however, were not green as their own, but white as moonlight. 8 ponies jumped the 15 remaining changelings. Goldshield was amazed at the strength Princess Luna had just demonstrated. Did she even need all of them if it actually came to a fight? Or would they just be in her way? Not only that caught her attention, but also the look in her eyes concerned her a bit. She knew nothing about the princess's life before she became a ruler of Equestria, but this look was one of determination. A determination to crush every pony that was foolish enough to get into her effective range. As several pairs of white eyes lit up in the darkness behind the now frightened changelings, Goldshield thought that they had called in reinforcements at first, but soon she realized that these eyes belonged not to changelings, but to ponies. Ponies that, without a second thought, jumped the changelings that outnumbered them almost 2 to 1. Her first impulse was to rush in together with the other guards to assist these ponies who had come to their aid, but an outstretched hoof from Princess Luna stopped her. Goldshield was about to protest as a changeling flew past her, his skull crushed in by a hit from a front hoof of one of these ponies. "It will be difficult as it is, so please do not insult their honor by interfering with their fight," Luna said. "Who are these ponies, Your Highness?" "You will find out soon enough. We must run. We are almost there, and they will keep the changelings off of our backs until we arrive at our destination." The other guards were already on the move again when Goldshield was still staring at a particular unicorn mare with a light brown coat and dark brown ears. Her orange mane and tail flirted through the air as she bucked at a charging changeling, while throwing 2 others against a nearby tree with her magic. Her expression was not one of fear of death or injury, but one of determination not to let a single one of them escape. "Move!" Princess Luna shouted at her when she was staring at the unicorn in awe. Immediately she followed the princess into the darkness between the trees. A last glance over her shoulder revealed the changelings that had attacked them actually tried to run for their lives. A few minutes later, Luna loathed what she had to do, but there had been no other way to save her life and that of her sister. Out of the darkness in front of her, a barrier of dark purple came into sight, a barrier she herself had raised more than 1,000 years ago. As she and her group approached it, a small hole opened in it, letting them enter her refuge. Goldshield gasped as she galloped through the barrier that had come into sight just a few moments ago. She saw houses and streets lit by street lamps. The streets of the settlements were buzzing with activity, but what made her take a defensive stance was a group of 7 ponies that had gathered around them in a half circle. She quickly recognized the ponies that had taken care of the changelings earlier. Their eyes had stopped glowing, and they seemed to completely ignore her, the other guards, and even Princess Celestia. All their eyes were on Princess Luna. As they started to run towards the princess, Goldshield wanted to put herself between them and her, fearing an attack, having seen them fight earlier. As Princess Luna ran towards them as well, however, she was stopped in her tracks by surprise. All of them hugged the princess, and the princess was more than happy, apparently, to return the hugs with her front legs and even her wings. Tears flowed from Luna's eyes as she was able to embrace her long-lost children once again. All of them were crying, and some were even trying to climb on her back, but she let them be, since she could relate to their overflowing joy. "Mother!" A voice from a corner of the nearby buildings caught Luna's attention. Her ears jumped at the voice. She had recognized the bearer of this voice earlier when her children had come to protect her. As the voice sounded, the others stepped back from her and made way for a brown unicorn mare with dark brown ears and orange mane. Her eyes were the same green as Luna's, and as she stood before her, Luna embraced her. Goldshield could not believe her eyes. The princess, who had so much problems relating to her subjects, was embracing ponies who, strangely enough, called her mother. As far as she knew, the princesses did not have any children. Furthermore, these ponies were Pegasi, Earth ponies, and unicorns. There was not a single alicorn among them. These impressions still having to settle in, the unicorn mare she had seen fight earlier stepped out of the darkness near a building. What Goldshield had not been able to see before, because of the darkness, was her cutie mark. Now the light of a street lamp enlightened the mare's flank and showed the exact same cutie mark Princess Luna had on hers. Okay, every pony, yeah, this was chapter 1, The Great Escape. I hope you like it. Comment if you like. I will most likely read the other chapters. There are 5 up to now. Later today. Well, hope you like it. And, well, now to cut out my bloopers. Wow, I'll enjoy this. Sincerely yours, Visual Pony.